So I want to talk a little bit about how I spent my Valentine's Day this year. But it might be easier to tell you how I didn't spend my Valentine's Day. So let's look at that. I did not spend it like this, at a romantic dinner in some foreign country. Nor did I spend it like this on a beach, like a nice pleasant date. I didn't even spend it like this in McDonald's, like this, gorgeous couple here. I spent my Valentine's Day a little bit more like that. Sitting on my couch, eating cheese puffs, watching Netflix. Now you might ask why. And there's an easy explanation. All of season 2 of House of Cards was released on Valentine's Day. So naturally, I had to watch 6 episodes that night, and then Saturday morning I woke up and I watched the remaining 7. And it's pretty crazy when you think about that I blew through an entire season of something in 2 days. And that's sort of the culture we're in now. We have shows like Game of Thrones, we got Breaking Bad, Orange is the New Black, and The Walking Dead. All shows that are traditionally associated with binge watching. And that's sort of the norm that we've come into now. And I think that culture is really a product of 3 aspects that we can look at. First, you have technology, and largely the laptop or the tablet. What that does is it allows for accessibility. This old model of watching television with your family in a living room is almost obsolete. I mean, we've completely abandoned it. This is what the new model looks like. You sit on your bed, you're in your room, it's dark, you've locked yourself away, and you can watch endless hours of your favorite television show. I mean, it's become that easy that we don't even have to get out of bed in the morning before we start watching television. I've done it, I know we've all done it, where we just grab our laptop on a Saturday morning and just watch whatever we want. What's even better is you can lock your door so your parents don't have to come in. That's good too. The second aspect is style. There's a change in the way that producers have made TV shows. If you look back in 2000, the top 3 popular TV shows were Friends, Law & Order, and Sex and the City. They're all either 30-minute comedy shows, and one's an anthology series where each episode doesn't really have a continuous plot. So you could just pick up, episode 6 of season 5 of Friends, and you'll totally get it, you'll understand, and you'll enjoy it. But if you look at 2013, you can't just jump into Breaking Bad or Game of Thrones in the middle of season 4. It just doesn't work that way. Because producers nowadays tailor-make shows for binge watching. They leave cliffhangers at the end of episodes so that you're going to sit there and you're going to say, oh, I'll just watch one more. It'll be fine. And then 5 episodes later, you realize what you've actually done. The third and final thing that I think really influences the binging culture now is expedience. And it's sort of a expedience without any restraints on it anymore. So let's look back to my experience with House of Cards. I watched an entire television show in 2 days, which is kind of pathetic if you think about it. I couldn't even extend my enjoyment of a show that I really like over an entire weekend. I had to blow through it in 2 days. And it's pretty much demonstrates that what I want, where I want it, when I want society. We need things now, we need them efficiently, and we need them fast. And that's not to say that 50 years ago, people weren't trying to do things quickly. 50 years ago, you sat down in front of your box television and you watched, every Sunday night Gilligan's Island or something. And that was the only TV you watched. It's not because people worked harder and they weren't as lazy and they didn't want to just watch TV. They just didn't have the technology back then. Nowadays we have the tools that allow us to just sit down and go through endless and endless hours of television on our own time. So the big question, is it bad? Is binge watching really harmful or is it helpful? And there's pros and cons to both. Some people argue that if you binge watch a show, you can do it on your own time, and then when you get through it, you have more time for other things. I had that whole Sunday, if you want to consider that. But then the con to that is that you are promoting this isolationism in modern society where you don't interact with other people. We're a generation that's plugged into our phones, we've got earbuds, and that's just something that we don't really connect with other people. But I think there's one thing that's certain. We are going to see a trend in the future towards binge watching, and we probably won't have cable TV anymore. We're just going to see shows released on Netflix, HBO, and all that stuff. So I want you to look in the future if that's something that you think society is going to change towards. Thank you.